Namaste yogis, my name is Dana Joe and welcome to my channel. Today we are doing a gentle yoga for building core strength, and what we're doing here is just doing some basic core postures for those who are newer to the yoga practice that can do these at home to help build strength in their body, to help them also prepare for other types of yoga postures. So that being said, let's go ahead and get started. All you will need today is a blanket, if you use blankets, and if not, all good. We're gonna start in child's pose today. So what that looks like is bring your big toes together to touch. Your knees are as wide as the mat. I'm gonna turn sideways so that you can see me here. For those of you who might have tighter hips, you might wanna grab a blanket and sit your hips back onto that blanket as you reach your arms forward. So in child's pose, let your head rest on the mat. And again, if the ground feels really far away, you can stack your palms and just let your head rest on the backs of your hands. Allow your belly to collapse in between your thighs. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Smooth breath out. Again, inhale, fill up. Exhale it out. Keep breathing like that. Inhale and exhales out through your nose. Notice here if you can breathe more into your back body. Widen the ribs side to side. Fill the breath fully into all parts of your lungs. So front, back, side. And take one more breath here. Just grounding yourself here on your mat for the next few moments of your practice. Observing where you are in this very moment, how you're feeling emotionally, physically. Honor that. And holding that at your heart space, slowly rise up into a tabletop position. So remove the blanket out from behind you. Tabletop, hands are directly underneath the shoulders. Your knees are directly underneath your hips, and they're hip width distance apart. Spread your fingers wide. Grip the earth with your hands, like you're holding two basketballs or mason jars underneath your hands, whatever you resonate more with. Grip the earth with your fingers. And then from there, can you corkscrew your elbows back toward the back of the mat? So your eyes of the elbows are pointing forward. Lengthen the crown of your head forward. Ground down into your left shin. Reach your right leg back. So you can press a good amount of weight into your right toes. That's awesome. Crown of the head reaches forward. And you can stay here or maybe begin to lift your right toes off the mat. Notice how that changes the distribution of weight. Your hands are more or less, if you were to look back at your left knee is like between the palms. So lift the right leg a little higher so it's in line with your right hip. Flex the toes down toward the earth, and you can stay here or maybe reach your right, or rather your left arm forward. Like you're shaking someone's hand, point your thumb tip up toward the sky. Ground down into the right palm. Reach back with the right heel, last breath. And set it all back down, tabletop. So knees directly underneath the hips, switch it out, other side. Extend left leg back, placing the toes on the mat to start. If this feels like enough for you, stay here. If you're looking for a little bit more, lift the back leg off of the mat, but drop your left hip so it's in line with the right. You want your back body to be flat, like you could balance a cup of tea on your back. Again, stay here or option, reach right arm forward. Thumb tip points toward the sky. Create a long line of energy from your fingers all the way out through the toes. Big breath in and set it all down. Exhale. Great. We're going to add on to that. Extend the right leg back. Reach left arm forward. Again, same thing. You can keep the back toes down or lift the back toes off the mat. Soften your front ribs down toward the navels. Lift up toward the sky. Lift your back body up toward the sky. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bring your left elbow and your knee toward one another, in toward your center. Protract the shoulder blades, so press down into the mat a lot. Inhale, reach limbs out long. Left arm forward, right leg back. Exhale, elbow to knee. Just 2 more like that. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, reach limbs out long, and then just set it all back down into that tabletop position. Nice. Switch it out, other side. Reach the left leg back, right arm forward. You can keep the back toes on the mat if that feels like a better place for you today. Otherwise, lift back toes off of the mat. Get long as you breathe in. Exhale, tap your elbow and your knee in toward one another. Inhale, reach arm forward, leg back. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, get long. Last one. Exhale, pull it in. Inhale, elongate, reach, reach, reach. Exhale, set everything back down. You can sink your hips back for a child's pose again. Stack the palms, just let your head rest on the palms. Breathe in toward your back body fully. And exhale. Big breath in. Smooth breath out. Inhale, shift forward again onto your hands and knees, that tabletop position. Moving on here, you're going to extend the right leg back. We're coming into a modified side plank. Move your left toes toward the left edge of the mat, and you're going to spin your back foot flat so that your knife edge of the back foot is grounded, and then reach your right arm up to the sky. Your left hand should be directly underneath the shoulder or even a couple of inches in front of the shoulder toward the front edge of the mat, whatever feels more stable for you. Ground down fully into your back foot. Maybe gaze up toward your top hand. Options, not levels, so take what you need. You can stay here if this feels like a good place to stop. Layer 2. Begin to lift your back leg off of the mat and try to find a balance. And if you find yourself falling out, just giggle, smile, and come right back in. Last layer, maybe reach top arm overhead, pinky tip down, thumb tip to the sky. Take a big inhale and exhale. Release your back foot down, right arm high as you breathe in. Exhale, come right back to tabletop. So hands and knees, shake it out. Moving on to the other side. I'm going to turn around so that I can see you guys. Extend the left leg back. Turn the right toes toward the right edge of the mat and spin the back foot flat. Reach left arm high to the sky. Notice here again, you want weight in your back foot and in your palm as well as in the knee. This is a modified side plank, modified Vashisthasana. You can stay here or maybe begin to lift the back leg off of the mat. Flex your toes back toward your face. And the toes should be facing the left side of the mat, like you're karate kicking the back wall with the foot. Reach up through the fingers, maybe gaze high toward the top fingers. And then exhale, reach top arm overhead, get long through the side body. Back heel all the way out through fingertips. Take a big breath in. And exhale, release your back foot down, come right back into tabletop. Whew. Nice work, guys. Sink the hips back into child's pose again. Drop the head down. A few breaths. Notice if the heart rate has risen at all. Come back to that steady inhale and exhale. Using your breath to calm the nervous system, bring the heart rate down. We're going to keep moving here, friends. So shift forward back into tabletop. This time you're going to lower down onto your forearms, interlace your fingers, preparing for a forearm plank. Reach your heels back, lift the knees off of the mat. So in your forearm plank, option to start with your knees down on the mat. Highly recommend, actually, if we all start there together. Ground down into your forearms. Can you notice if your booty's popping up toward the sky and there's a lot of pressure in your low back, as I'm doing here? What you want to do is lengthen your tailbone down toward the heels so that the hips are dropping a little bit lower toward the mat. Keeping that scoop of the low belly, you can stay here or maybe lift your knees off of the mat for your forearm plank. We're only going to be here for 10 seconds. So notice if your body starts to quiver, that's good. That means it's working. Om 3. Om 2. Om 1. Again, release the knees down if they're not already there. And press your back up onto your hands. Sink your hips back, child's pose. Full breath in through your nose. Smooth breath out. Last little bit here, you're going to turn around and just find yourself lying down on your mat. Again, if you tend to use a blanket underneath your head, highly recommend bringing that folded blanket at the back of your mat and let your head rest down on that blanket. It's a really good modification, especially if you notice your chin jutting up and back when you lie down. So use that blanket to level out the chin with the earth. From here, you're going to bring your knees into a reverse tabletop. So exactly what we were doing earlier with that, we call it bird dog, opposite arm, opposite leg. We're going to do the same work here on our backs. But to start, what you'll do is place your hands, bring your feet back down actually onto the mat. Bring your hands underneath your booty for a little bit extra support if you need it. And now bring your knees back into that reverse tabletop. Notice if you have space in between your low back and the earth, can you press your low back down toward the mat? And from here, you're just going to tap right toes down, bring the knee back up. Exhale, tap left toes down, bring the knee back up. We're going to do this a few times together. It's like you're marching or walking somewhere. Tap down, bring it back up. Tap down, right toes, bring it back up. Last 3. Final 2. And 1, tap it down, bring it back up. Great job. So if you want to keep doing these marching ab workout exercises, you can just keep doing that. Otherwise, we're going to add on, place your hands on the tops of your thighs. From here, you're going to move your right hand onto your left knee and place your left hand onto your right knee. So your wrists should be crossed. Great. From here, you're going to tap your left toes down, reach your right arm back toward the back of the mat. So you should feel the pressure from your left hand into your right knee and the entire core engage. Exhale, come back up, bring your right hand back onto the left leg, switch it out other side. So just tap your left toes down, reach your left arm back, and then come back to center. If this feels like a good place to be, we're gonna move a little bit more quickly. You can also inhale, reach, and straighten the left leg for a little bit more core. Exhale, come back to center. Cross your wrists. So a couple more together, just tap down, reach the arm back, opposite leg, just like we were doing on our hands and knees. A couple more. And again, know that you can have the hands by your sides and just tap the toes down as well. That's a great option. Last 4, 3, just 2, and 1. Nice work, friends. Pull the knees into the chest. Stamp the feet down onto the mat. Just windshield the wiper your knees side to side, massaging out the low back. And then moving into our final resting pose, Shavasana. Extend your legs out long. Turn your palms up to the sky. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Again, big breath in. Smooth breath out. You can stay here as long as you like. But that's the end of our gentle flow, building core strength. Bring your hands to your heart